and that's what we're all fighting for. Now, thank you. I want to say one more thing because, again, I try to read the news and understand what's going on, and I haven't talked about this yet, but I'm going to talk about it now because I think that in the final stage of this campaign, Kamala Harris has chosen a message, and the message is not that she's going to make your grocery prices lower or your housing more affordable. The message is not that she's going to secure the southern border. Her closing message to the American people is that you all are bad people for being pissed off at what she's done to the country. That is her actual closing message of the campaign. And I was, like I said, I was in Madison Square Garden last night with the president, and we had well over 100,000 people between those inside and those outside, and they were, fired up. It was a celebration of America. You had a lot of fun at that rally. And you know what? Thank you. And you know what Kamala Harris and her team woke up this morning and decided to compare it to? They decided to compare us to literal Nazis for gathering in Madison Square Garden and celebrating the United States of America. These are the same people, of course, who call us racist for wanting to secure the southern border. They're the same people who have no plans, no ideas, and no solutions. All they have is hatred of their fellow citizens. And on November the 5th, I don't want us to just elect Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. I want us to reject Kamala Harris and a ridiculous name-calling over actual governance. And because of this, I actually decided, I Googled an image of our brave men and women almost 80 years ago storming the beaches at Normandy. And I thought to myself, who does Kamala Harris think that she's kidding? When I looked at the image of those brave young men, a lot of us, of course, knew some of those folks. Of course, we still have some World War II generation still with us, though it's dwindling by the day. But most of us probably knew somebody who was involved in World War II in some form or another. And I find it honestly kind of funny that Kamala Harris thinks that the men who stormed the beach at Omaha would want taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for illegal aliens. That's why those guys stormed the beaches at Normandy, because they wanted to open up the American southern border. That's not what they wanted at all. They wanted common sense, they wanted freedom, they wanted liberty, they wanted somebody who would protect the Constitution. How dare Kamala Harris call her fellow citizens Nazis for loving this country enough to call her a bad vice president? And that's exactly what she is. How dare Kamala Harris call her fellow citizens racist for not wanting their communities overwhelmed with fentanyl? How dare Kamala Harris call parents bad people for wanting their children to grow up in safe neighborhoods? How dare Kamala Harris call the American people bad for wanting an economy where they can afford to buy groceries and afford to put a nice roof over the heads of their children? I want us all on November the 5th, not just to make Donald J. Trump the next president, but to reject Kamala Harris and her broken politics, which is more about attacking her fellow citizens, dividing our fellow Americans, than proposing a positive agenda for how to govern. She is a disgrace. She is endangering the life of Donald J. Trump, and we're going to send her back to California where she belongs.